Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is David Charles, International Psychic Medium. Tonight, or today, wherever you are, whatever time it is, I'm doing a reading on the new King Charles III. I think it's the third. King Charles, anyway, and Camilla, of course, his Queen in Consort, I think they call her. We'll do a reading on Prince Charles first, see how he's getting on with his new job. I mean, it took him 70 odd years to find a proper job, so he's got a job now. He's king of all he surrounds him, and we'll see what's going on. We'll do King Charles first, and then Camilla and separately, and then we'll do them both together. So stick with me. Just give these a shuffle. I've been shuffling these already, but give them a bit longer. My name is David Charles, International Psychic Medium, Master of Witchcraft. If you'd like a psychic reading with me privately, go to the website. It's down below, and it's davidcharlespsychic.com or David Charles Psychic Limited. If you don't want me, you can have my team. I've got over 100 psychics working for me, and they're all working 24 hours a day. So, Prince Charles, let's take a look. King Charles, I'm sorry. I can't get used to calling him that. So, this should be interesting. Of course, any day now, on the 9th of November, depending on when you watch this, the new series of The Crown is coming out on Netflix. And, of course, they say it's all a story. It's not based on fact. And it reminds me of the last line of the last paragraph of The Water Babies by Charles Kingsley, my favourite end paragraph of any book I've ever read. And it says, remember, this is all a fairy tale, and it's all in fun and pretense, and you mustn't believe a word of it, even if it's true. Reminds me of Netflix. So let's have a look. This is King Charles, and for a start, we'll do the negatives. This card shows he's surrounded by swords and a rope or a bandage tying him in or her in, a blindfold which shows that he is ignoring things that need dealing with. He feels stuck, he feels trapped, maybe he's getting used to the new job and he feels a bit stuck with it. But he isn't stuck with it. This card means feelings of entrapment that are usually there because of indecisiveness. Well, if you can make that out there. If you're on a little phone, you may not be able to see that, but it's telling him, and if you're watching this, Charles, you've got to stop feeling trapped. You're not trapped. You're not a tree. You can get up and move. So feelings of entrapment are usually caused by indecisiveness or ignoring problems that you should really be dealing with, but they're not always easy to deal with, especially with King Charles and the present goings on around him and the family. But this is not a negative reading by any means. There is this card here, the Five of Clubs or Five of Wands. It's the Five of Clubs in an ordinary deck of cards. You see the people there grappling with confusion, and this is around work, not love. So it's around King Charles's, what is now his career. There's confusion, people getting the wrong end of the stick, the wrong information, the wrong impression, maybe bickering, maybe arguments, and he needs to stop it because he can't. It's not going to get him anywhere, and it can be people get irritated because they're getting the wrong idea or the wrong impression. Not necessarily King Charles, but the people around him, maybe the family, maybe the people that work for him. And the rest of it is pretty good. In fact, it's very good. This card here, the Two of Cups, which would be the Two of Hearts in an ordinary deck of cards. And the hearts and cups mean love in nearly every card, not quite every card, but most cards. And you see the joining together of two people. They're toasting their love for each other. This is Charles and Camilla. And it tells me that this work that they're doing now, as tiring as it must be, it's actually bringing them closer together. So their love for each other is getting stronger, and it's already been pretty strong anyway. And that's good as well. This card here, the Ace of Cups, shows a brand new love or a brand new lover. In their case, it almost certainly means that they're getting a restart, like they're falling in love all over again, like it's a brand new beginning, which makes a lot of sense, I suppose. But it's it's the Ace of Cups or the Ace of Hearts in an ordinary deck, and all aces, number one, of course, mean new beginning. So it's a new beginning, a new era for King Charles and Camilla. Now there's some surprises here. There's some money coming to them, but it's to him. It's a share of money, obviously to do with charities, I believe. And he's taking a share of some money from somewhere pretty soon. And you can see the man there giving the money to beggars. So it implies that Charles is moving the money to people less fortunate than himself, which is another good thing. Very symbolic. These cards are so appropriate, and you saw me shuffle these cards, so is sharing money with people who are less fortunate than himself. I think, really, when I look at the readings for Charles and the royal family, I believe Charles has got much more mellow or softer as he's got a bit older. Then we have this one. This is a very interesting one. You've got the 7 of Cups here, or 7 of Hearts if you want. This implies psychic activity all around him. You can see there's the chap there has got everything he wants in front of him, and he's a very spiritual person. He may not appreciate me saying that, but he's spiritual, he's probably quite psychic, very intuitive. He tends to know what people are thinking before they even speak. He may not even notice it because it's been a part of his life since he was a child. But he is very intuitive, especially at the moment. And my readings normally look 12 to 14 weeks ahead. So for the next quarter or so, Charles is on a psychic high, which will help with this one, which indicates confusion. So that will help him deal with that. And everything here looks good. New love, a new lover, or new love with your lover, a closeness, a bonding, a joining together. And I'll show you the last one for Charles for the moment. And it's the Wheel of Fortune from the Major Arcana. And this Wheel of Fortune means the wheel has turned in his favour. And he's entering now, not in every respect, because relationships are not good, but in most respects, King Charles, is entering one of the luckiest periods that he's had for years. And I'm so pleased for him because he's gone through this awful bereavement and the grief and the tragedy of losing his dear mother. But things are picking up for him. And I've got 3, I need to do another one actually. Oh yeah. Yes, it's another sum of money coming. This is a lump sum of money that he's going to need to keep. So it could be on behalf of one of his charities. Maybe it's very interested in climate change and all that. So it may be to do with that, but there's money coming to him twice. One is a share of money, another's a lump sum that he's going to need to keep for the project that he's got in mind for it. I'm not sure what that is. But of course, as I said, the new series of The Crown comes out in a few days. It's already causing problems, but nothing like the problems it's going to cause when it hits the screens on Netflix. And there's going to be a lot of arguing, a lot of rowing, and a lot of upset over it, I'm afraid. But let's take a look at Camilla, and then, excuse me, and then we'll come back and do them both together, because there's some surprises coming, I think. I'll show you. Put that over there. Give these a shuffle for the Queen Consort, that's what she's called, isn't it? Camilla. I always think of her as Camilla Parker Bowles, but it's still Camilla. She's still a lady, still human like all of us, and they have feelings like we do. And of course, they've been through a lot of arguments recently, internally, as most of you will know. Right, Camilla, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, this is not quite so straightforward as Charles' reading, but we'll do them together in a minute. As far as I can see, this reading indicates arguments, quarrels, not with Charles, but I do think it's family members. This is the card, the 5 of Swords. This would be the 5 of Spades in a deck of ordinary playing cards. 5 of Swords. Swords are quite often quite negative. This one shows conflict. The swords are laying on the ground, the people are walking away, they've been beaten. It means that if you enter conflict or arguments at this time, you're not going to win. So that's saying to Camilla, don't get involved in conflicts or quarrels or arguments, because you're going to lose and you can't win, you'll be wrong. Even when you're right, you're just going to be wrong. And that would include legal stuff as well. So anything to do with legal stuff, court matters or people suing people, as I mentioned, there's things coming out that could cause trouble. It's not a good time for any kind of arguments or bickering, and it's certainly not a time for Camilla to get involved in other people's arguments, because she'll get dragged in, and I think she's been dragged in before, and I think you know what I'm talking about. This card shows, this is 2 of Pentacles. Of course, that would be the 2 of Diamonds in an ordinary deck. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Marilyn Monroe. Some like it hot, I think. It shows juggling and travelling. So Camilla's travelling, but she's not juggling with money as it applies there. She's juggling with her feelings and her ability to be in more than one place at a time, trying to juggle so many things it's a balancing act, really. You can see he's only on one foot. Look, he's standing on one leg. He's trying to balance things out, and that's how Camilla is at the moment. And I think she's, well, I don't think, I'm told she's a go-between in some of the family arguments that's been going on for the last few years. And that's not good for her. The negatives indicate the Devil card from the Major Arcana. Doesn't look very nice, but it's symbolic. It's all symbolic. The Devil card means temptation. That means that Camilla will be tempted to do something that she may regret. It doesn't mean that she'll do it, but she will be tempted to do something she'll regret, or she may be tempted to say something that she'll regret, and she needs to avoid temptation. Temptation, I always think, is put in front of us to test us out, to see how we react. And she's got to avoid temptation. Excuse me, now a sip of tea. Lose my voice. So Camilla needs to avoid temptation, because that's what that is. The two people there are chained to the devil. Look, she's not chained to anyone. The chains are loose. They can slip them off at any moment if they want to. So she doesn't have to succumb to temptation. That's one of the negatives. She's juggling with her feelings. Temptation is there. There's arguments. And this one here, this is the Two of Swords. The girl's got a blindfold on. The swords are being held up to keep people away, like a barrier, like a Freudian wall. This means Camilla is hiding, not hiding, but being protected by a barrier that keeps people out. She doesn't want anyone getting too close, because she's really fed up now being messed about with and dragged into arguments and all that sort of thing. And she's trying to keep out of it, so she's got the barriers up. If people call her on the phone, she may say, no, I'm not doing it this time. I think she's been trying to help all round, and I think she's getting a bit fed up with it. But she will be doing it, whether she likes it or not. I think she still will be one of the people they go to when they want advice. And I'm sure you know who I mean, most of you. But I'm not an expert on the royal family. This is a psychic reading. And of course, I'm supposed to say, according to the law, this is entertainment only. A bit like the Netflix film. And this is all for entertainment purposes only. So, this man here, this may not be negative, but it could be. This is a king. King of Wands. It's not Charles. This is not Charles. This could be lawyers, officials, people that work for her. It's to do with work. I don't think it's King Charles. It's a very respected person, but he's not royalty. Although it's the king card, this is not royalty. It's somebody she uses as an advisor, probably one of the people that work for them around the palace and all that sort of thing. And he is giving, for once, she's getting advice for someone else, because she's very good at giving advice, and people like to hear what she says, because she's been around a long time. She's very wise. But she's getting advice herself, and I think it's probably legal stuff, stuff to do with the law, lawyers, solicitors, attorneys, they call them in America, I think, and all that sort of thing. Now, some good stuff here. There is some good stuff. This one here is the Page of Wands. Now, that doesn't have a card in the other decks. There's Jack, Queen, King. There isn't a page in the main playing cards, but the Page of Wands, if you look at it, it's to do with work again. It's not to do with love. This is a person bringing good news. Now, this can be news of a pregnancy, but it's probably something to do with her work as well, or maybe both. There could be a pregnancy. They come up in all these readings because people are always getting pregnant, aren't they? So it's easy to predict pregnancies, but they do come up in the readings. And this one, I think, could be a pregnancy or a birth. Now, a birth doesn't always mean a baby. It can be the birth of something new, a new job, a new hobby, or something new that's taking off in the person's life, in her life, in Camilla's life. And it also means a messenger. It could be the postman. It could be a telegram. Do you still get telegrams? Somebody bringing news to Camilla. It's good news. It's not bad news. The page brings news. It could be a man or a woman bringing news to Camilla soon that she's going to like. And then, this is unusual. This chap is the Page of Cups. 2 pages. You can see he's making an offer. It's an offer of love or friendship. Well, of course, it's not love in this case, but it's a friendship offer. It could be a relative. It could be someone she knows. It could be someone really kind that thinks a lot of her. It's someone younger than her. It could be William. It could be Harry. It could be one of the ladies, one of the princesses. It could be Catherine. Somebody's making an offer or a suggestion. It's really good. She's going to love that. So as long as she avoids temptation, good reading. And then we have from the Major Arcana the Star card. And this is another card that means new beginnings, everything shining on you, wishes coming true, but it really means psychic activity again. So I think the reason Charles and Camilla get on so well is because they're both a bit psychic, which will probably mean they're telepathic as well, and almost certainly it will mean they have healing qualities. That may be whilst King Charles, maybe why King Charles used to talk to his plants and flowers years ago. I hope he still does. But this can mean healing, psychic activity, new beginnings, everything going well. And follow the stars. The stars in the newspaper? No, the real stars up there. Be inspired by the planets, the stars and the universe. So very good stuff. So she's got travel. I think I mentioned that. That can mean travel, but that's not unusual for Charles and Camilla. So that's a good reading as well. So pretty good reading, bit of temptation. Don't get involved in arguments because you're going to lose. Let's take a look at Charles, King Charles and Camilla together as a couple. Don't forget you can get a psychic reading with me from anywhere in the world if you want me. On that, down below there, it's David Charles down there somewhere. And it's davidcharlespsychic.com or David Charles Limited, which is my company. As I said, I've got over 100 psychics at my disposal and they're not always on all at once, but you can get them 24 hours a day if you don't want to talk to me. So let's have a look. The pair of them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we'll go straight to the death card because it frightens everybody. It shouldn't frighten you. The death means the death, the end of an era. It's like you've got a book of chapters. You may have 60 chapters in your life, one for each year. You may have 100. Some people don't get many at all. But it means you're ending a chapter of your book and you're starting a brand new one, which is pretty obvious, but that's what's happening. It means get rid of all the past, all the rubbish, put it out with the bins for the bin men and start a brand new. So if you're watching this, King Charles, I hope you are. Hello. And it means start again. Nothing sinister, this card at all. The only time it can mean a bereavement is if you already know there's one coming anyway, somebody's not well, but that's not the case here. So a new beginning, the end of an era, and for both of Charles and Camilla. So I pulled it out first. It's not a negative card, but we're doing the negatives. And this card here, you can see this black, he looks like a bit of a Jack the Lad, tricky, deceitful. Everybody loves him. He's charismatic. He could sell anything to anyone, but he's a cheat. This man is up looking after himself. He's heading their way. It's not a member of the family. It's somebody who could try and swindle them or deceive them. It could be a member of the family, but I don't think it is. So this man is someone, if this chap knocked on your door, you wouldn't buy something off him. That's the sort of person he is. He's heading their way. It could be a lady, but for most of it, I think it's a bloke. So this one here, the King of Cups, can mean you're going to see somebody in a caring profession. Could be a doctor, a GP, can be a midwife for some people. It's somebody who cares, is not a young person, he or she, it could be a lady, but it's someone in a caring profession. It could be a medical person, it could be the dentist, it could be a person of religion. They're seeking out advice from this person soon, and it may make the newspapers and the news, you'll see. So there's no real negatives here. Oh, there is, I beg your pardon. Another chap here, travels a lot, irritating, bombastic, loud, noisy, interfering, means well, but he gets on your nerves. As I say, every time it comes up, it's like an itch that you can't scratch. And he's heading their way, and I think they already know this person. Travels all over the place and is a nuisance. Who do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. This person is someone who means well, but he really gets on your nerves. He's coming their way soon. Now there's a lady here with a pet or an animal. Could be a dog or a cat or a budgie or something. This lady is someone who worries about this couple, King Charles and Camilla. I don't know all that much about the royal family, but she cares about them and she's worried about them. So there must be a reason for that, probably all the inner conflict that's been going on in the family. This person is someone who's worried about them and she needn't worry because there's nothing to worry about. But she may be someone that they go to when they want advice. She's self-sufficient, she's a good woman and she's loyal and you can trust her with your secrets. And that's not very often you get that these days, is it? This one here, you see the chap is holding the world in his hands. This is how Charles and Camilla are. They don't really seem to feel that way. They feel, only for the moment, they feel a bit stuck. But that will soon pass when they get used to the new responsibilities. But it shows they've got the world in their hands. They can do anything they want. It's a really positive card. If you have this in your reading at home, you should be pleased with it. And it's to do with work and your earthly life more than your love life. So the world is their oyster, as I always say. Let's have a look. So this one here, the Ace of another ace. That's the third one, I think, isn't it? Ace of Wands. In an ordinary person's life, that could mean a new job, a pregnancy again. Could be a pregnancy in their life. It means fertility, that everything they touch at the moment will grow. So if they try new projects, new charities, it will all grow, it will take off. But it can mean, once again, a pregnancy or even a birth. So there's a pregnancy around the royal couple, King Charles and Camilla, and it's someone near. And I'll pick the last one out, which is what we got, the Nine of Cups, which most psychics, and which is called a wish card. It means that the spirit world are offering them a wish, but they're not going to know that unless they watch this. It means they can make a wish, but if they don't, something they've always wanted is coming anyway, and it's not the job, it's to do with their own private stuff. So the universe are granting Charles and Camilla a wish soon, if they haven't already done so. But that may also be in the news. Something really good is coming, something really, really good. And I think, and I'm sticking my neck out here, I think it's peace in the family and reconciliation. It's not going to be easy, it's going to be complex. It won't be straightforward, but they will reconcile, they will get back together within 12 to 14 weeks. If not then they will certainly set things into motion in that time. You heard it here first. David Charles, Psychic. I think Camilla and Charles are doing a good job. I think when they get used to it, because I think they feel a bit stuck at it at the moment, a bit tired. Once they get used to it and the winter's over and the springtime comes, things are going to look really good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember, if you want a reading from me, go to davidcharlespsychic.com or David Charles Psychic Limited, and you can book me or one of my team there, and I'll read for you from anywhere in the world. It's been lovely speaking to you. I'll be back soon, I hope, with a reading, maybe for Prince William and Kate, but we'll see. I'll see how this one goes. And watch out for trouble when the new series of The Crown comes out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Please follow me, subscribe, share me with your friends. And it's been lovely talking to you. Take it easy. Remember my motto, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you will be loved. And I love every one of you. Take it easy. Stay cool. Catch you later. Bye-bye.